Welcome. Welcome to the moment you refuse to be blind any longer. Welcome to the unveiling, the reckoning, the awakening. They thought you'd stay asleep, silenced, shadows whispering lies into your ears. But no, you pulled back the curtain. You tore through the fabric of deceit, ripped apart the veil of illusion that they so carefully stitched with threads of manipulation and fear. You didn't just peek behind the scenes, you stormed the stage of darkness. And now, you see the puppeteers for what they truly are: fragile, desperate, and afraid of the light you wield in your mind and spirit. You might feel the weight of this revelation, heavy as the night itself, but it's the weight of truth, and truth always demands its price. You are no longer a bystander in the shadows. You are a warrior, a seeker, a rebel with the fire to shatter silence. And in this moment, you hold the power that they wish to bury deep, beneath layers of lies and silence. But here you stand, unyielding, unapologetic, and unstoppable. Look closely now, because what you are about to hear, what you are about to understand, will change the trajectory of everything you thought you knew. They tried to hide, but you pulled back the curtain, and the truth doesn't just whisper anymore. It roars through your veins. The question is no longer, what have they hidden? But rather, who has been feeding you these secrets from the shadows, and why? It's time to face the uncomfortable reality that the whispers in the dark, the subtle nudges, the hidden messages you've been receiving, they were never accidental. These shadows, these secret feeders, they chose you. They chose your mind, your soul, your heart to be the vessel of revelation. But beware, not all who feed secrets do so for your good. Some feed you poison wrapped in riddles. Some cloak their chains in sweet lies. But you have the courage to sift through the venom and find the antidote. If you're feeling the surge of power, the pulse of awakening coursing through you right now, then take a moment to hit subscribe, like this message, and share your thoughts in the comments below, because this journey is not one to walk alone. We are the legion who refuse to be blinded by shadows anymore, and your voice, your story, is the light that pushes back the darkness. Every secret unearthed is a battlefield won, a victory over the silent oppressors who profit from your ignorance. They thrive in shadows because they fear the sunlight of your awareness. But the curtain you pulled back was not just fabric. It was a barrier built from their control, their greed, their desperation to keep you docile and obedient. And now that barrier lies in tatters at your feet. You are free to see the strings, the hidden hands, the lies wrapped in smiles. You are free to decide what to do with this power. And what will you do? Will you hide from this truth, retreat into the comforting lies that shielded you before? Or will you embrace this darkness, not as a place of fear, but as a forge where your spirit will be tempered and your mind sharpened? The shadows that once cloaked deception can now become the backdrop against which your courage shines brightest. Remember, knowledge is not always a gentle gift. Sometimes it is a sharp blade cutting through the illusions that kept you chained, and pain often accompanies truth. But that pain is the crucible from which your strongest self will emerge. This path is not for the faint-hearted. It demands sacrifice, resilience, and a heart unyielding to despair. Consider for a moment the forces that have sought to keep you in ignorance. They fear you because once the curtain is pulled back, once the light is allowed to pour in, the world will no longer be theirs to manipulate. They will lose their grip, their power dissolved by the relentless tide of awakened minds like yours. You have become the spark that threatens to ignite a blaze of revolution. A revolution not just of society, but of your own spirit. So ask yourself, who truly feeds you these secrets? Is it a shadowy figure with hidden motives? Or is it your own inner voice, your deepest intuition whispering truths you've long denied? The answers are rarely black and white, but this complexity is the key to your liberation. Embrace the discomfort, the doubt, the chaos, for in that storm you will find clarity. If you feel the fire of this message burning within, do not hesitate. Like this video, subscribe to join a growing army of awakened souls and drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's build a community that refuses to be silenced by shadows. Now, imagine the world beyond the curtain, a world where the puppeteers are unmasked, their strings severed by your hands. This world is not a fantasy, but a possibility, born from the power of your relentless pursuit of truth. But with this power comes responsibility to protect this light, to nurture it, and to share it with those still trapped behind their own curtains of deception. It's easy to feel isolated in this journey. The darkness is thick, and the forces aligned against you are cunning and relentless. They will try to discredit you, to isolate you, to drown your voice in a sea of noise. But remember this, every shadow needs light to exist. Your light makes their darkness visible, and that visibility is their undoing. You did not pull back the curtain to turn away in fear or confusion. You did it to see clearly, to act boldly, and to lead others out of the darkness. Your journey is the story of every rebel who ever dared to challenge the status quo. It is the story of the truth seeker, the outcast, the relentless warrior who refuses to bow to silence. And so, you must ask yourself, now that the curtain is torn, what will you build in its place? Will you create a new narrative of strength, freedom, and unyielding truth? Or will you allow the shadows to creep back in, filling the void with old fears and new lies? The choice is yours. The power is yours. The moment is now. You are the one who pulled back the curtain. You are the one who sees what they tried so desperately to hide. And you are the one who will decide what comes next. In the darkest nights, the brightest stars shine. And you are that star. Rise, awaken, and never let the shadows dictate your fate again. You stand now, not just as a witness, but as a guardian of truths they wish never to surface. Those truths ripple like cracks in a mirror, distorting the comfortable illusions you once clung to. But those cracks are not destruction. They are the openings for light to enter, for new realities to be born from the ashes of deceit. Understand this, the veil was never meant to protect you. It was designed to imprison you, to keep you docile and disconnected. But you shattered that prison with your eyes wide open, your mind razor sharp, your soul unwilling to be silenced. This is a reckoning. The shadows that fed you secrets are part of a larger web, a labyrinth of lies, of hidden agendas and silent wars fought not with guns, but with control over information, over belief, over your very perception of reality. They tried to make you a pawn, to feed you fragments carefully curated to keep you confused, divided, compliant. But you unraveled their plan. You picked up the threads of truth and wove a new tapestry, one where you are no longer the victim, but the victor, no longer the silent spectator, but the loud, unyielding force. Every whisper you heard from the shadows, every secret that seemed like a warning or a puzzle piece, was an invitation to awaken the part of you that refuses to accept what's handed down without question. You are the one who listened when others turned away, the one who refused to be pacified by empty explanations or comforting lies. That courage, that refusal, is rare, precious, and deadly to those who thrive on your ignorance. But with this knowledge comes danger. because now you're a threat. The very fact that you pulled back the curtain means you are marked by the invisible powers that want to keep the darkness intact. They will try to intimidate you, to confuse you with misinformation, to isolate you with fear. They will deploy every trick in their arsenal to keep you doubting your own perception. But here's the truth. Their power lies in your silence and submission. Break those chains by speaking, by questioning, by sharing the light you carry. You might feel vulnerable, you might feel overwhelmed, but vulnerability is the doorway to strength. It is the battlefield where the fiercest warriors are forged. Embrace the discomfort, because it means you are alive, awake, and moving forward while others remain shackled in their comfortable darkness. And remember this, every person who has ever changed the world started with a single act of defiance, a single moment where they refused to accept the lies fed to them from the shadows. They pulled back the curtain and chose to see the world as it truly is, not as it was presented to them. Their courage birthed revolutions, tore down empires built on deceit, and inspired millions to rise. Now it's your turn. The voices feeding you secrets from the shadows may be many, some whispering fear, others daring you with truth, some trying to lead you astray. But you have the power to discern, to decide which path to follow. Do not let the fear of the unknown paralyze you. Instead, let it fuel your fire. For in that fire, you will find the clarity to see the shadows not as enemies, but as teachers, harsh, brutal, but necessary guides on your journey to ultimate freedom. This is no longer just about you. It's about the countless others still trapped behind their own curtains of deception, their own prisons of silence. Your act of pulling back the curtain is a beacon, a signal flare in the night. It calls out to the seekers, the rebels, the lost souls desperate for truth. By standing in your light, you invite them to step forward, to join you in shattering the illusions once and for all. So rise up with the full force of your truth. Do not shy away from the darkness, own it. Let it be the shadow against which your light becomes blinding. Let your voice become the thunder that shakes the foundations of their lies. If this message ignites something inside you, if you feel the hunger for more clarity and strength, then don't just listen in silence. Engage. Like, subscribe, and share your story in the comments. Your words might be the spark that lights another soul's way out of the dark. The curtain may have been pulled back, but the work has just begun. The shadows are restless, and so are you. Together, we will navigate this new reality, fierce, unbroken, and unafraid. The truth is your weapon, your shield, and your banner. Hold it high. Never let them put the curtain back, because you are the light they feared, the storm they couldn't control, and the force that will change everything. Let's keep pushing into that dark, relentless fire, the raw core of your awakening. The truth is a storm, and you are the eye of it, calm yet unstoppable. The deeper you journey, the more you realize this isn't just about secrets or shadows. It's about power, your power. The power they tried to bury beneath layers of silence, deception, and control. You see, they underestimated you. They underestimated the hunger inside you for clarity, the stubborn refusal to be led like a lamb to slaughter. They thought that by hiding their agendas, masking their intentions behind layers of misdirection, they could keep you small, compliant, a cog in their vast machinery. But here you are, tearing that machine apart piece by piece, with nothing but your awareness and your will. Every secret you've uncovered is a seed of rebellion planted in the fertile soil of your mind. And rebellion is contagious. It spreads through the cracks of complacency, infecting the silent masses with the poison of doubt, a poison that wakes the soul and shatters the comfortable illusions built to keep you asleep. This awakening is not painless, it's brutal. It cuts like a blade through the fog of indoctrination and leaves you raw, exposed, but alive. And from this rawness, from this exposure, comes something infinitely more powerful: authenticity. You no longer hide behind masks or scripted lies. You confront the world as you are, scars, doubts, and all. Because you understand that the shadows feed not just on ignorance, but on your fear to be truly seen. You have faced that fear head on, stared into the abyss, and refused to blink. The shadows hate that. They hate your courage, your unwillingness to play by their rules. They try to silence you, smear you, isolate you. But every attempt to push you back only fuels the fire burning within. You are no longer just an individual fighting alone. You are part of a collective storm, a wave of awakened minds rising against the tide of deception. Ask yourself this: what is it that they fear most? It's not the weapons, the laws, or the structures of power they control. It's the awakening itself. The moment the people who were once blinded by lies open their eyes and see the world for what it really is. The moment they realize their power to dismantle systems built on fear and silence. That moment is their undoing, and you have brought that moment closer. By pulling back the curtain, by refusing to stay in the dark, you've ignited a spark that can't be extinguished. It will grow, consuming the shadows with relentless light. But remember, light exposes everything: the good, the ugly, the uncomfortable. To walk this path is to accept not only the beauty of truth, but also its harsh realities. You will encounter betrayal, confusion, and sometimes even despair. But know this: these trials are the forge where your resolve is tested and strengthened. The darkness you fear is merely the absence of light, and you are the light bearer, the one who carries illumination into places long forgotten and feared. Your journey is the story of every soul who dared to rise from the ashes of manipulation and control. You are a living testament to the power of truth and resilience, and this power is contagious. If this message strikes a chord, if it awakens a fierce determination in your heart, then don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe, and join the movement. Your voice, your courage, your story, they matter more than you realize. Together, we are an unstoppable force dismantling the shadows piece by piece. Now, take a breath and feel the gravity of this moment. The curtain lies torn, the shadows retreating, but the path ahead is yours to walk, fierce, fearless, and free. The power was never theirs to hide. It was always inside you. The act of pulling back the curtain was not a gentle awakening. It was a violent upheaval. You shook the foundations of your own reality, and that tremor is still echoing through the corridors of power that once held you captive. But hear this loud and clear: the curtain is ripped, torn, shredded beyond repair. There is no going back to ignorance, no retreat into comfortable lies. The shadows that fed you secrets, those elusive, twisted figures lurking behind the scenes, they are exposed now, their masks shattered, their schemes unraveling under the harsh light of your awareness. You might feel exposed, vulnerable, naked in a world that still clings to the shadows with desperate, trembling hands. But remember this: vulnerability is the birthplace of true power. The rawness you feel is the fuel for your transformation. Like steel forged in fire, you emerge from this truth stronger, sharper, and unbreakable. no longer a puppet in their games, but the one who cuts the strings. The real question now is, what will you do with this power? Will you let it consume you, dragging you into bitterness and despair? Or will you harness it, channel it into action and creation? The path of truth is not easy. It demands sacrifice. The sacrifice of ignorance, of complacency, of fear. It demands courage. The courage to face not just the world's darkness, but your own. And yet, it is the most liberating path there is, because once you see the world as it truly is, messy, corrupt, filled with lies and betrayal, you are free to rebuild it with your own hands. The illusions crumble, but the foundation of your new reality can be stronger than any lie they ever told. The shadows that fed you secrets might have tried to manipulate you, to play on your fears and doubts, but now you are the one feeding back, feeding the light, feeding the courage, feeding the awakening. You have become the hunter, not the hunted, the seeker, not the lost. In this moment, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to ignorance, comfort, and darkness. The other leads forward into light, responsibility, and power. Which will you choose? Know this: you were never meant to walk this path alone. The curtain you pulled back has revealed a vast network of warriors, seekers, and rebels who have also awakened. This is your tribe, your army. Together, your combined light can burn through the deepest darkness. So I ask you, no, I challenge you to stand tall, to shout your truth from the rooftops, to tear down every last curtain that tries to hide the reality from those still trapped in shadows. Your voice is your weapon, your story your battle cry. If this message resonates with your soul, then don't hesitate. Like, subscribe, and join the legion of awakened minds. Share your truth in the comments, because your story will light the way for others still stumbling in the dark. The curtain is down, the shadows are fleeing, and you are the dawn breaking through the longest night. Rise, reveal, revolt, because the power they tried to hide was always inside you, waiting for this moment. You have torn down the curtain, and in doing so, you have shattered the illusion of control they desperately tried to keep over you. What once was hidden, veiled in secrecy and shadows, now lies bare before your eyes. This unveiling is not an end, but a beginning, a new dawn where you hold the power to shape your own destiny. The truth is raw, it's wild, it's often uncomfortable, but it is yours to wield. You are no longer their pawn or their prisoner. You are the architect of a new reality, the bearer of a light so fierce it can no longer be ignored. The shadows that fed you secrets were not merely obstacles, they were tests. Tests to see if you would remain shackled by fear or rise into your full potential. By pulling back the curtain, you proved that fear will not govern your life. You embraced the unknown. You stared into the abyss, and you chose to see. This choice sets you apart. It is a declaration that you will no longer accept half-truths, convenient lies, or the comfortable numbness of ignorance. You choose freedom. Freedom in the harsh light of reality. Freedom in the chaos of truth. Now, this freedom carries responsibility. It demands courage every single day, because the moment you see the world as it truly is, you cannot unsee it. You carry the burden of awareness, the weight of knowledge that others might still be trapped behind their own curtains, blinded by the lies fed to them from the shadows. Your path is not only about your liberation, but about guiding others out of darkness. The power you've claimed is not meant to isolate you, but to connect you to a greater purpose, a collective awakening. But beware, for this journey will not be easy. The forces that wish to keep you in the dark will fight back with everything they have: fear, manipulation, division. They will whisper that you are alone, that your revelations are dangerous, that resistance is futile. Resist these lies. Stand firm in your truth. Every challenge you face is proof of your power.